This is a video designed to show a bit of detail with how our current center console looks in our 73 Mustang convertible, along with measurements of the GPS unit, as I am considering having a custom center bezel and or console created so that I can have a more embedded look for the GPS and backup camera display from the Garmin Drive 51 unit we have. So what we have here is an ACP brand center console I purchased for both of our 73 Mustangs. We have a Mach 1 as well as this convertible. And I went ahead and removed the ashtray so I could install a power panel. And this power panel has two USB port output, 2.1 amps each, so it can handle an iPad as well as an iPhone. It has a digital voltmeter output, and it has two 12-volt barrel socket devices here that can be used for any number of non-USB or USB with a proper adapter voltage applications. I also adhered a set of magnetic stands to the console, and I use that to hold on to our iPads and our iPhones as we are driving. The back of the iPads and iPhones have a little circular metal disc that is retained magnetically to these little units. That's a nice touch. Here in the Mach 1 we have a clock. I have not installed the clock in the convertible because, well, I just haven't gotten around to it. I might. Here is our heating air conditioning control for a classic air conditioning system. It fits well. Factory radio. And then up here we have the air conditioning vents, and in the vertical bezel we do not have the 3 gauges that are found in a more high performance type of Mustang. It's just a gauge delete that says Mustang, nothing else. And what I did to mount our Garmin Drive 51 GPS was fairly simple. I got a 2-inch by 2-inch by 1-inch clear acrylic block of plastic, and I used double-sided 3M tape at the very top and at the very edge to adhere this onto the bezel. Then I got a GPS mount. It's a ball mount in the back of the GPS that goes to a platform that is screwed into the acrylic block. It's that easy. And now I have lots of flexibility as to where to point this GPS and backup camera unit. Oh, backup camera. Let's take a look at that. There. I'm inside the garage. There's nothing fancy, but that's the backup camera function and the GPS function. And I have this thing wired in such a way that this wiring comes down the side of the bezel and then scoots up underneath, and in the front of the console I have a pair of these 12-volt type of output sockets. One of them feeds the GPS, the other feeds a webcam, and the webcam wiring is routed up, tucked up in the trim area of the roof, and the side panel comes around underneath the glove box area. And you can probably see the wire right there running along the glove box area. And then I have it drop down and tucked back into the front of the console. So now measurements. The Garmin Drive 51 unit is about 5.5 inches wide. Show that again. And about 3.5 inches deep, or high, I should say. The depth, well, that kind of depends on how you measure depth. I'd say if we allow 1 inch, that's enough to get just the unit in there. If you want the platform, mounting platform, along with the depth of the unit, now you're talking closer to 2.25 inches. And I'm thinking of having a center bezel fabricated where the GPS isn't mounted on this acrylic block, but rather is inside an area that is cut out for this, with enough room for me to move this thing around. And I'm really struggling with whether I want to use this GPS display, an iPad mini, or a standard iPad. The standard iPad and iPad mini might be a bit large and interfere with where the radio goes, but if I'm having a custom fabricated, that may not be that much of an issue. I have other options at hand. Anyway, that's what's going on. This is a video inside the Mach 1. Very similar to the convertible, we have the ACP center console. It's similar fabrication for the power panel, except in this case I'm actually using the 12-volt outlets currently for the GPS, and for the webcam I'm going to change that and provide 2 hidden sockets at the front of the console like we have in the convertible. Like the convertible, we have the magnetic base mounts for the iPhone and iPads. Here is the center clock in the console. The same AC controls and radio is an aftermarket radio, but same thing for the center bezel. No 3 gauge, and the Garmin unit is connected like in the convertible with a clear acrylic 2x2x1 block of plastic. In this case, the mounting base is adhered with adhesive as opposed to bolted in. No particular reason why I did it other than that's just how I did it. Other than that, it's the same exact Garmin display, a Drive 51 unit with a wireless backup camera attached to it, as well as a front camera. Up to 4 cameras can be associated with this Garmin unit.